NFL team futures. NFL team futures. Coming off that Steelers win last night, I do think that is one of the few divisions that is worth discussing. My viewpoint is still, man, this is Ravens. They are by far the best team. We look at the top of the standings, and it is the Steelers by a game. But, Sam, if you look at it this morning, the latest AFC North odds, what you're calling the most surprising division of football, Ravens minus 165, Steelers plus 180. Typically, we like to look for value. Where's a path for the plus money side? But if I'm making a wager, I'm not hesitating. If I'm betting on this division, it's Baltimore at minus 165, and it might be the best price you get all year.
It could be. I don't know, man. I think Russ is back. I think Russ is cooking.
No, you're
lying.
lying.
I know. You can tell I'm lying.
Don't start.
Okay. Look, the Baltimore bet's probably a decent one considering where the price was before the season and where it is now. We can have that same conversation with San Francisco as well in the NFC West. But I want to throw a prop at you that I saw this morning.
Okay.
It's basically, will Kansas City go 20-0? And the price is 25 to 1.
No.
You're not going to bet. Why not? At 25 to 1, that's a really good price, Joe. Wink, wink. No, it's not.
So what's the money line?
How many? The worst part about this market is that you can't bet the no. They only allow you to bet the yes. Yeah. So a perfect regular season, and I love the way that they word it because it's, will any team go 17-0? And there's only one that can. So the wording is misleading. It should just be, will Kansas City go 17-0? Because every other team has a loss. So will any team go 17-0?
Yeah.
The yes is 10 to 1. 10 to 1. Will any team have a perfect season? 20-0. That is 25 to 1. I think they could, but I don't think 25 to 1 is even close to a fair price.
So not only are you asking them for the 13-leg parlay, moneyline parlay with one specific team, you do get Mahomes on your side. Forget the schedule in the regular season. Let's go past that. What is your path? So you have obviously the bye, and then you look at some of the teams that you're going to have to take down on your way to just getting to the Super Bowl. And then whichever team from the NFC, maybe it ends up being Detroit in the end. Who knows? But you're probably going to have to take down Buffalo. You're definitely going to have to take down Buffalo in a couple of weeks from now. That's another tough one with a very short point spread. That is a ridiculous number. But, like you mentioned, you can only bet one side of it. People are going to bet it. They're going to bet on Patrick Mahomes. Oh, they're not even playing well. They haven't lost yet. They're not going to lose. There's no way this happens. No, it ended up being a one-score game against the Raiders, the lowly Raiders. Yeah, man, that's insane. So let's take down the Bills. Let's take down Stroud. Let's all think of the combination of teams. They've done it in the past, but to do it again, good luck. Good luck. Terrible number. What should the number be?
50 to 1.
At least.
You can go 20-0.
Double.
Should be double.
At least. The Eagles price. They just destroy the Bengals this weekend. It's about where we were at the start of the season. It's minus 120 in the division. The big change, obviously, the Commanders in that conversation. Commandos plus 135 as the second favorite. Is the Eagles the play or is nothing the play? Or the Commanders?
I've thought Eagles all along. No, I can't bet the Commanders now. I mean, I guess I could. I want to say I can't do something, but that was a team that was, I believe, 14-1 to win the division. 14-1. So to come in now and say, oh, I like the Commanders at plus 130, you are literally the last person to the train as the train doors are closing and the wheels are churning and it's about to leave the station. So if you're okay with that, fine. I'm not saying they can't win it. Just wouldn't bet plus 135 at BetMGM.
No.
Eagles minus 120. I mean, they're the most talented team in the division, and it's not even close. And the Commanders' schedule, look, it hasn't been a cakewalk, but it hasn't been that great. Do you think they've had a great schedule so far? I mean, they've played the Giants, the Cardinals, the Browns, the Panthers, the Bears. Nice win against the Ravens, obviously. And I guess the win against Tampa. Actually, they lost to Tampa early in the season. That was week 1. They lost 37-20. So their best wins, I'll give you all the wins: Giants, Bengals, Cardinals, Browns, Panthers, Bears. Who's the best team they've beat? Is it the Bears? It could be.
They put almost 500 yards on the board against a top 5 Bears defense. And there was 50 at the end with the crazy play, but that's an impressive run. The problem was they had their issues in the red zone. They go 0 for 3 in that game. They should have scored a lot more against the Bears, but the Bears were able to close them out once they got there. But okay, New York, Giants, Pittsburgh, and then it gets a little bit tougher. Divisional matchup: Eagles, Cowboys, Titans soft. New Orleans probably soft at that point. It's a lot of easy games moving forward too, though. But yeah,
well,
you're
yeah, because
probably
they're
right.
a bad team. That's what happens
Yeah.
when you're supposed to be bad. You have a bad schedule. They're benefiting from having a new coaching staff, new blood, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new quarterback. Guys are excited, and they play an easy schedule. I mean, that's why, everybody always wonders, well, how do teams always go from last to first in the NFL? Because teams that finish 4-13 play cupcake schedules. And if you can get a quarterback at the beginning of the draft that changes everything, you can make the playoffs. I think they're going to make the playoffs. But I have the Eagles. I don't even have my numbers up in front of me. I'm going to guess I have the Eagles. Here we go. This is as of last week. I've got the Eagles 5 points better on a neutral field right now. That's on a neutral. So if the game is in Philly, we're talking about a number of almost 7. The game is in D.C., Philly's a small favorite. But I'm still much higher. I mean, 5 points is a lot. That's my difference between Kansas City and Baltimore, for the record. Kansas City and Baltimore, let alone Eagles to Commanders. So, yeah, to me, it's Eagles.
Best record. You mentioned Kansas City. There are props out there about them going undefeated for the regular season and then also adding in the postseason, meaning they win another Super Bowl. They are 7-0. So best record, they are obviously the odds-on favorite at -185. The second favorite after that is Detroit. Now we get down to 7-1. The second favorite for the best record is 7-1, and they are 1 game back. 6-1. But the Lions have the second toughest remaining schedule because they live in the NFC North and they haven't played many of those games. Then you get to a handful of teams that have 2 losses. So you're 2 back. I think there's a play that's worth considering for best record that's not Kansas City. And we mentioned week 11, the Bills host the Chiefs. The Bills with 2 losses, but if you look at the other 2 lost teams, Texans, no way, fraudulent, +9 point differential. The Eagles are good. We like them, but they're not going to have the best record. Green Bay, they're in the NFC North, tough schedule. Minnesota, they just lost their second straight game. Life's changing a little bit for them. There's Washington as well. Pittsburgh, too. Got to mention them. But their schedule's ridiculous going down the stretch. Buffalo. You take down the Chiefs in week 11, and that 2-game lead turns into a 1-game lead. So then, just got to catch them. Can you gain 1 game in a little bit over half a season? I think they can. Bills at 10-1, that's the only team I would consider for best record.
And at the end of the day, it's probably still Kansas City. They probably still do it. I would be really interested to see this number. At this point, I would bet Buffalo with you at 10-1. I agree. I would love to see the number if Buffalo beats Kansas City, because then I would look at Kansas City. So you could maybe bet Buffalo now at 10, and then if Buffalo beats Kansas City, Buffalo goes to 4-1, and Kansas City goes to +190. So now you are free rolling the best record because you have 10-1 on Buffalo and +190 on Kansas City. That's how I'm thinking about the situation. As for the worst team, there are some big numbers on some bad teams.
Uh-huh.
Buddy, I don't know that anybody's worse than Carolina, though. I'm sorry. I just, you could talk me
Well,
into some New England at 460, but then New England just beat the Jets, and New England has an advantage big time over Carolina because New England actually seems like they care. So the Raiders have 2 wins, Jaguars have 2, Browns have 2, Jets, Patriots, Dolphins have 2, Giants 2, Saints 2, Panthers 1, Titans 1. It feels like it's Panthers or Titans, and that's not exactly the hottest take. Those are the teams with the 2 shortest odds. Panthers about plus 180, and the Titans just over plus 350. Then everybody else. Paul brought up yesterday, what's Miami? I said, wow, that's bold. Miami has 2 wins. Miami is 33-1. Is Tua making it the rest of the way? Because if he's not, they might not win another game. If he is, they will find a way to get to 5 wins. So you're handicapping the health of the quarterback in Miami. But all these other teams, the Browns are 7-1, the Giants 11, the Jaguars 18, the Jets 31-1. Big numbers. But I think this sports book is willing to give you the big numbers because they know that Carolina is just cooked.